everybody. Welcome to 500 Open Tabs. I'm Hannah Hillam.
And I'm Kaveh, and today we have a very special guest. She is an award-winning author and poet with notable works such as This Is How You Lose the Time War, and more recently, The River Has Roots. I know her as the staunch defender of Notre Dame de Paris and the queen of curling, because she's got those buff arms. Please welcome to the podcast, Amal El-Mohtar. Amal, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi.
You can curl? Wait, is
no,
that real?
That's completely fake.
I was about to say, this is going to turn into an entire interview about curling.
Oh, no.
That's the case.
No, I am Canadian, which, has some association with the sport. I think I watched a film called Men with Brooms. I'm pretty sure I did.
Amazing.
And
Harry Potter.
Is that even curling? No, oh my God.
I don't know.
I'm talking curling like lifting weights. Like
you're
doing the biceps.
I thought you meant curling like the sport, like where you throw the stone.
Kaveh,
you know what that is,
so
right?
straight.
I'm so...
Yet
Coming
again,
in with my aggressive
the
heterosexual energy.
Look at him.
Whoops.
Hetero.
Please don't hold it against me.
Lifting. I do lift. I love lifting.
You do?
Oh, that's awesome.
Very much. I actually opted to cover the tank top I'm wearing with this button.
She didn't want to show off the guns. Yeah, too many guns.
Protect you.
People thought we would be super Second Amendment supporters if she didn't wear that shirt.
I have because of the video component, I didn't want to distress anyone with my cupping marks because I go to get cupped for physio reasons too. So mostly for that, but also for your protection. You got to keep your guns
the
safely
stowed.
Stowed.
That's gonna destroy me.
Yeah,
you bring those guns out.
Gotta keep them locked away. You gotta have a lock on it. You gotta have a special code so the kids can't come in and get them.
My middle brother one day, literally, this was it was a summer day. It was pre-pandemic, and my partner and my middle brother and I were just walking through a park, and there were these two guys in this big SUV car. There was a lot of aggressive energy kind of surrounding these men who were wearing tank tops. It was a hot day, and my brother yelled out to them, "Hey, which way to the gun show?" and somehow broadcast through sheer charisma the purity of his intent. And these two men, after a very tense silence, flexed for him. At the intersection they were stopped at. It was beautiful, and I have just never seen anything quite like it before or since. I was I don't know why he's inviting this attention from these men I would never want to speak to in public, and yet he did it in a really wholesome and charming way, and they responded in kind.
That's the difference between Canada and the U.S. I
Yeah,
don't know if
true.
they would have gotten that reaction down here. They would have been like, "Oh, which gun show?
Yeah.
There's one over here. Do you want to buy one from me directly?"
That's so fair. We don't have a lot of gun shows in Ottawa. It's true.
Amal, thank you for coming to join us. We've been excited to have you on the show for a little bit. So the first question that we always ask people is, what is your relationship to tabs? Do you have many tabs open? Do you close them very quickly? Somewhere in the middle? What's your tab deal? Let us know.
My tab deal. All right. So I remember when you two were starting this podcast. And
I don't.
I remember the posts on Instagram that were announcing the launch of it, and I remember instantly feeling anxiety and stress, learning that there were people on this earth who open tabs and let them accumulate to the degree where they're just always there and open. And I feel like this lives in the same space in my head as people who don't who allow notifications in their email inbox to proliferate. So when you have 1,000 unread emails, and people sometimes just around me will flip into their email inbox, and I just catch a glimpse of the number and
oh no, ew. Ladies and gentlemen, Hannah's putting her phone up to the screen. Let me see. It's 803 texts, 171 missed calls. What was the rest of it?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry. I just needed to.
Here's the thing that I don't. It's not, and I have to stress so much. I have ADHD. I am not it's not that I'm
a different kind.
It's not that I'm good at responding to things at all. I am good at eliminating notifications. I just cannot have an angry number staring at
too.
me, and
Yeah.
I needs to be gone. It needs to be destroyed. So in my email, I absolutely will read the emails. And before I had a different brained person as my assistant, I would, go through a number of scenarios that might persuade me that I had actually replied to the email, like I might think a reply and then just move past it, and then somehow
Got to get that neural link. That's what you need for
Exactly.
that. You got to be able to just think the response, and then it'll happen. Otherwise, it never will.
I never will, and the response will be so chaotic. But all of this to say that, but I just can't have the numbers there yelling at me, which is what it feels like in my head. And similarly, having like a lot of tabs stresses me out. That said, the only time when they do proliferate is when I have like an active project where I do need to like be referencing a bunch of tabs. So for this podcast, for instance, I do have a bunch of tabs open presently. The only exception to this is like on my phone, when I have a bunch of tabs, because they all appear, like they don't appear in a line at the top of a browser. They're all kind of like hidden. It is possible for them to like sneakily stay open there.
Yes.
But it's just a very different somatic experience. So that is my relationship to tabs.
Interesting.
Okay. Love it.
I was going to say, when you research for a book, how does that look? Do you usually use bookmarks? Because, I mean, when I was doing my book, it was just out of control. Insane. Like, I was just like, I guess I'm opening new windows and new browsers. I'm downloading Chrome now and using that. Like, so like, what does that look like when you're deep in the research section, like area of your book?
Well, so for Time War, we had no research because we were just it was like it was just Max and my respective brains and whatever we had there in a gazebo with no internet for most of the composition of of
That's awesome.
So
I did not know
the
that.
tabs were in our heads.
Our
Tabs were in our
mind
mind
tabs.
tabs.
You've gone to the next level of Nirvana or whatever it is.
Yeah, but when I was writing The River Has Roots, I had to learn a lot about mills, like how mills work. And because I realized I didn't actually know for sure.
I don't think I do either.
Yeah, they're
Oh, you
they're
guys
different
don't?
kinds.
Come on.
Yeah,
Just
they're
get
Kaveh
with it, you do.
Miltarian.
Yeah. It's the first thing they teach you in third grade. Christ, what kind of
We didn't grow
school
up in
system do they have in
Connecticut.
Canada?
Okay.
God, this country's
Right
falling
after the
apart.
Mayflower.
Don't
they
even
taught
know
you
about
how to mill
cursive.
flour.
They don't know
No.
about milling.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I wanted to learn about mills. I specifically needed to learn about like 17th century mills in England.
Oh, that
and
is
stuff.
my jam.
So it was cool. So I basically like, and also because the information kept like not sticking in my head. So I kept a lot of tabs open for that, and it really was because like what do I use? I use Chrome. So there's a certain amount of like just the history it remembers. So sometimes if like I need to close things for my mental health, but then also reopen them at a later time, I, can usually just see at a glance. I'm like mill, bloody blue, and then it will like pull it up. But also, I did also have recourse to like a big fat physical book. There were a couple of books for like folk songs that I had. Like one of them is called Lore of the Land, and it's just like a bunch of different folk songs and like where specifically they're located in Britain and stuff like that.
Right.
And in those cases, I did usually like just put some kind of, I'm not going to say bookmark because that suggests like a beautiful object with intention attached to it. It would be a scrap of paper, a receipt, a ruler, a bobby pin. I'm literally just like naming things that I can see on my desk in front of me.
I
right
tear
now.
up
Pins are
post-it
good.
notes a lot of the times. That's what I end up putting in there because they're bright and colorful.
Oh, that's good. That's actually
funny.
That also speaks to intention.
I was helping my daughter
I have
clean
one
her
right
room.
here. Literally, you can see
Oh, yeah.
my Hellboy references.
Oh.
All these post-its.
That's what I've got here.
I was helping my daughter clean her room, and I was finding all these books that just had the most random bookmarks in them, like a tissue, like an unused tissue.
Good
Or
it was
like
unused.
Yeah, I was
plastic.
gonna say,
A
with
used
kids,
tissue
you never
would
know.
be, yeah.
I checked. You know
Yeah.
what? I don't know, actually, but I was like, wow, apple fall tree, whatever it is. Apple does not fall far. I can't talk. The
Apple
bookmark
fall
does
tree.
not fall
That's what it
far
was.
from the tissue box. I
That
don't
was
know.
Steve Jobs' basic motto when he started the company is Apple Fall Tree. I remember.
Wow.
that.
Apple fall tree, Michael.
Yeah. So, as is customary for us on the show, you are going to be first to go up. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us what tab you've brought to share with the audience today?
All right. I'm going to preface this with the fact that as I was preparing for this podcast, doing my homework. My wonderful assistant, who was also my spouse, walked into...
How did you get that? How did you do that?
Listen, I lucked out so hard on A, the spouse front, and also B, the assistant front, in that Stu's brain functions very oppositely to mine, by which I mean it does most of the time. And functions. And as a consequence, when aforementioned email relationship stuff, he can read email and reply to it, which is a fucking superpower as far as I'm concerned. He can fill out forms. He can keep track of obligations and a calendar. It's incredible. And it's like, just, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew because I knew that I was failing on all of these fronts, but just having someone not only willing to do those things, which I think are incredibly difficult, but to do them for me is like
Very
the
nice.
most tender, lovely thing I deeply cherish.
That's wonderful.
So I give you all of this loving preface so that you understand how devastating it was when he came in to this office that I'm currently in. He was like, "So, have you done your research for your tab for 500 open tabs?" And I said, "Yes." And I started telling him excitedly what I wanted to talk about. And his face started going gray and his eyes glazed over. And he said, I'm not making this up, the words he said to me were, "I literally can't think of anything I could find less interesting."
Oh, damn.
Whoa.
And
Stu.
And you know,
Bro.
he's a beautiful and loving man. And somehow, you know, this was
Heartbreaking.
too much.
It's heartbreaking. This is a man who watches multiple Billy Joel documentaries. And I just, you know, no
Probably knows
shade.
all about milling in
No
the
shade on Billy
14th
Joel.
century or whatever.
Yeah. But nevertheless, like, I feel like I have listened to him expound on his special interests quite a lot. And I was a little hurt by this. Nevertheless, with this preface, I will tell to you. Now you can't react the same way. I will be so devastated if you do. I was going to start. This is not what he found uninteresting. I was going to start with pomegranates. I wanted to talk about pomegranates for a few reasons. One, I love them. I love them as food. I love them as aesthetic. I love them as mythological symbology. Whether we're talking about, you know, Persephone and the underworld, and therefore, you know, branching out into Hadestown and other things that I am obsessed with.
Also,
and love.
it's almost Yalda. It's almost the winter solstice.
I was getting
pomegranate's
exactly,
a big part of that.
Precisely.
I've been drawing a lot of pomegranates lately, so it's funny that you bring that up.
This makes me so happy. There's literally a pomegranate right there. This is I'm gonna actually show you because it's very beautiful. This is a sculpture by Leslie Levings.
That's gorgeous.
Which I super love. It's a little vase. It's got a little beetle on it. Anyway.
I love that.
So anyway, let's just say, yes, pomegranates also very important Zoroastrianism and stuff. Curiously, having raised the subject of like Persephone and also Yelda, there's an oppositeness there in that like pomegranates are the thing that keeps like, because Persephone eats pomegranate seeds, she has to stay in the darkness of the underworld, and that's what brings seasons. But in Yelda, it's like, you know, a symbol of the light returning and of like, and like a kind of, it's a winter solstice triumph over the darkness situation.
Yep.
And I just kind of, they contain multitudes, do pomegranates, multitudes
Literally.
of seeds, multitudes of other things. So I was going to talk about pomegranates. Yes, flavors. Specifically, I was like, okay, pomegranate, so that's too general. I can't just start a tab with a pomegranate.
We're talking
I'm just going to be like Wikipedia, you know, I'm just going to... So I thought to myself, I want to start from this sentence that has haunted me for fully 15 years. And when I looked up when I first learned it, it was literally almost to the day 15 years ago that I first encountered this sentence. It was October 30th, 2010, which actually makes it before I met my now husband. I met him like November of 2010. But anyway, maybe that's why he wasn't interested in this stuff.
Yeah, he's like,
So,
doesn't involve me in the story. I don't care.
The pomegranate
Not the pomegranate
story.
So on October 30th, 2010, I was visiting a dear friend who lives on a National Trust estate in Somerset. She lives like right near a place called Lyte's Carey Manor. And Lyte's Carey Manor, a beautiful place. It's got just like a manor house, you know, one of those big stone houses in the English countryside. There are many. But in this particular one, it's kind of famous for having a particular 16th century herbiary in it. And in this herbiary, a book full of like plants, botany, herbs, but like, you know, in a scholarly way.
Huh.
And the herbiary...
They're very smart. All the herbs are smoking pipes.
Genius.
And they've got like, you know, vests on
Yes.
and whatnot. They're
front
wearing
of a
glasses
fire.
that are down low. Yes.
Exactly. So the man who owned the estate, Henry Lyte, this is Lyte. As I understood it, he had written this herbiary and it was there and it was a very important one at the time. And there was like a display copy of it. And I was just like at random, flipped it open and it landed at random on a page about the pomegranate tree. And
Right.
the first
Perfect.
sentence that I read was, "There be two sorts of pomegranates, the tame and the wild."
Ooh.
And that was just like it stayed in my memory. The rest of the sentence is, "The fruit of the tame is three manner of ways, one having a sour juice or liquor, the other is sweet, and the third hath the taste of wine." All right.
Oh.
So, but the idea that there were
Poetic.
two kinds of pomegranates, the tame and the wild, which my brain instantly flipped for rhythm reasons to the wild and the tame instead.
Wild and the tame, yeah.
I just was like, this is so beautiful. This is so evocative. The idea that there's like a wild pomegranate and a tame pomegranate. It was just like my folklore brain was very alive with this.
Well, and the word tame is interesting.
Exactly.
Like,
How was
talking-
pomegranate domesticated and brought into our homes so they could piss all over our couches at some point and leave red stains?
hate it when that happens. No amount of
Correct. And there's actually a lot of very interesting stuff about the domestication of the pomegranate. There is this is later in my tabs, but there is actually like a very beautiful phrasing of like how to get it to grow in the English climate that isn't from this herbiary, but that actually uses all this language of hospitality, of like, when a stranger has come to you from so far away, do not treat them so ill as to let them stay in the cold wind or whatever. And it's all literally about like just planting the tree against the house so it has like more shelter and stuff like that. But anyway,
plants have more rights than a lot of
indeed
the Commonwealth.
But so all this to say, there was this herbiary, there was this phrase. I was like, I'm going to start from this phrase. So I need to Google this phrase because like I remember it because it has literally kind of haunted my imagination for 15 years and I've never done anything with it. So why don't I look that up? So I Googled it. And the first thing that comes up on Google is a weird, not that sentence. Instead, it's something like, it pulls up a different 16th century herbiary called Gerard's Herbal, Volume 5. And
Gerard's Herbal?
Gerard's Herbal. John Gerard.
Roger.
It might have been Gerard.
Herbert.
I couldn't actually say.
I like Gerard.
Yeah,
Way
Gerard
better.
Ford.
Gerard.
Our president, Gerard
Ford.
Gerard. But
Can't
yeah.
trust AI to do anything. Thanks a lot, Google and Gemini.
my
Suck
God.
ass.
But it was weird because like I remembered that sentence so clearly, and what the sentence was instead that it pulled up was it said there are two sorts of pomegranates, the garden and the wild, and a third sort which is barren and fruitless. And then it went on to say similar things. The fruit of the garden pomegranate is of three sorts, one having a sour juice or liquor, another having a very sweet and pleasant liquor, and the third the taste of wine. And I was like, this is the same thing, but it's different.
Liquor.
Why?
But it's different.
Why has it replaced garden? Why has it replaced tame with garden? I don't like that. The reason, like the whole thing that made it stick in my memory was this other one. That's weird. So I actually gave myself psychic damage by logging into Facebook, a thing I don't normally do. But because it was 2010,
Paragon of fact checking is that's where you need to go to get all that information.
I had taken a photo of the page.
Oh,
and
nice.
I knew that because this was like a really important visit in my head. Like I'd never been to this part of the country before. There's a place called the Plague Market nearby. It's like gorgeous.
Love the Plague Market.
Yeah, truly. Just a
I
sidebar
get
to say
the best, freshest plagues.
The freshest plagues.
Saturday morning.
The Plague Market is a place in Somerset. There are like these rows of stones that are ancient. They're like presumably Neolithic. But during plague times, this may sound familiar to people who have lived through the last 5 fucking years. But during plague
I've
times,
barely lived through it.
Yeah.
during plague times, to have a market, you had to go deposit. You had to have contactless delivery.
Oh.
So people would
Oh,
go
no
and
shit.
actually put like their wares and stuff in this area, and other people would come and like to the market, to that
Whoa.
area, and like they had social distancing at the time during
Oh my
the fucking
God.
plague. So doing it in a plague market, that was a thing, and this was a location that was like known for
That's
that.
so cool.
Right? Isn't it incredible? And it's a very beautiful
Same
place.
solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even understand how disease spread, but they're like, we just can't be near each other. We know that much.
Exactly. I mean, they had notions, I think, of like scent being a thing because
Bad
there was
air or
bad
whatever.
air. They had a whole thing about like you could protect yourself with like a nosegay, essentially, like with like a parcel of
Oh, yeah.
herbs that you had in a mask, right? That would
Or
like,
that's what the whatchamacallit, the
yeah,
plague
like the
mask
plague
doctor
doctor
is, right?
Yeah,
masks,
yeah.
exactly.
giant-
When really it was the mask that helped, not the
Probably
junk
not
they
the
put in it.
flowers. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they probably didn't hurt.
Flower,
you know,
it makes it pleasant to be around.
Yeah.
You don't
at
have
the
to
very
smell the
least.
corpses.
yeah,
Yeah.
Christ, yeah. So
Literally, that's what. Anyway, go on.
exactly. So all this to say that
You
like
keep saying buzzwords, and I just keep getting activated. All right.
it's because
I see the
Kave's
kindred
eyes
soul
dim
in you whenever I say.
I know. You should totally
His-
have
his
Stu
eyes
come on
go
this
blank.
podcast. You should have Stu come on this podcast, and Stu will vibe with Kaveh, I feel sure, on so many things.
Listen,
They're
I'm
gonna leave
enjoying
their
this.
bodies
Yeah.
and connect in the astral plane.
Yeah.
We're
of
just going to
boredom.
talk about the gun show together and compliment each other's muscles, and that's how we're going to bond, all right?
You both have beards. You can talk
Yes.
about,
twins.
beards.
Be like, how short do you trim your beard? How often do you do this? I like the white patches here.
Anyways, it's fine. I'm not going to talk about your beard. So, point is, plague markets. So this was a memorable trip for me. So I had this photo in this like album. I have not looked at photos on Facebook in years because fuck Facebook. I hate it. I hate logging into
yeah.
it. It's a
awful.
bad thing. But I looked it up and I was like, no, I have not misremembered the phrase except for transposing tame and wild. And I, remembered Henry Lyte's name. I looked up Lyte's Carey Manor, and through some Googling, I'm trying to think of what the starting tab is here that I should send you all to.
You gotta go down the rabbit hole and find it again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
No,
probably
we're gonna have
it's
to
from
all
that,
log on
from
to
that
Facebook
phrase.
now together to find
No.
this.
I will
The
totally send
dusty
you
old archive of
send you the
the millennial
photo.
archive.
You know what? We can start from the false herbal, essentially the Gerard's
Oh,
herbal.
the second one
that comes up. Yeah.
Gerard Ford.
Rural
So
juror,
when
yeah.
I actually,
The Verger.
it's like a murderer called herderer stuff.
Did you say a
So
murderer called herderer? I kind of
do you
like
not
a cult that's
do you not
called
know
that.
this meme? It's
No.
It's because there's a cannibal named Hannibal, and so it's like there's this tweet that's like, wait till you hear my other one about a murderer called herderer.
That's amazing.
I have to look this up for you. This is a different tab.
Oh.
But anyways, yes. So the thing is that I looked up Henry Lyte, who I thought he had written this herbiary. It turns out he did not write it. He translated an earlier herbiary by a man named Rembert Dodoens, which I apologize, I am probably mispronouncing. I tried, but he had
It's
written
a made-up
something.
language anyway.
He had written
I
something
don't think we have any
called.
Dutch listeners anyway. It's fine.
We don't
Whenever I
know
look at it,
that.
I'm like, no,
if
man.
you
I
are,
don't-
let us know in the comments.
Listen, this is what I was like looking up on Blue Sky when you were complaining about socks on video podcasts.
that was only an hour
That
ago.
was 1 hour ago.
I don't want to see your socks on a video podcast. Put them away.
Yeah, I kind of
Put
agree.
on shoes.
100%
People have become
agree.
too comfortable. Anyway, sorry.
I
this is your
didn't
tab.
know
I'm not
that
gonna
was a
scream
thing.
about
I
this.
thought video podcasts were from the chest up, so you'd have to
No,
Most
now
of the good
everybody
ones
has
are.
couches. Everyone's on
everyone's
couches
just-
and they're like relaxing.
Ugh,
And they got no shoes on.
disgusting.
No, I just
Sick.
I feel like my grandma being like, at least wear shoes.
Yeah, I
she's
agree.
like-
Your grandma's right.
She's right.
I mean, but aren't these also happening in like people's living rooms? Because I wouldn't want to wear shoes in my...
No, these are all studios that
Oh,
they're
they're
renting. Listen,
studios.
Okay.
I'll just say this. Half the video podcasts that you see on the internet, like on YouTube, they're in like 3 places because they're just repeated locations over and over
Yeah.
again because there's spots that you can rent in LA.
Interesting.
You can go rent it for like
Interesting.
2 hours and they'll just switch out some of the posters on the background. Not
Yeah.
all of them, but a lot of them are repeats.
That's an incredible
Yeah.
middleman industry to have. Like just
Oh,
like
yeah.
the person who actually changes the decor for like
Fake
the same
podcast
like
living room.
Production designers, set
production-
dressers who are doing this.
exactly. I love that. I hope they are dining out on this new phenomenon of the video podcast, which feels, when someone says video podcast, my brain rebels. I know that's literally what we're on, but it's like,
no, it's just a show. That's
it's
all
a
it is.
show.
It makes no sense.
It's like when you
Yes.
say, do you know, like, has this thing happened to you where, like, we invented the word himbo, right? Which is a very specific thing.
Yeah.
And then people started saying shimbo. And I'm like, but wait a second.
It's like a she-himbo?
A female himbo is a bimbo. That's where we started from. We started from bimbo.
Generation.
It became
is
himbo.
the end of us.
And then people say shimbo. But the thing is, I agree that it is different. Shimbo is like a different thing than bimbo. Shimbo is basically like a girl jock, essentially, right? In a way that bimbo is not.
Yeah,
so there's like
okay.
a transitive thing that's happening. It's transformed.
That's kind of fascinating.
That's linguistically complex.
Right?
Yeah,
So
I like it.
in the same way, I feel like a video podcast is different from a television show, because this is evolution. This is the way that, like, everything is kind of carcinization, right? But you kind of go, everything is turning into crabs.
That's right.
But via weird, fucked up ways.
That was the first listener tab that was sent in by my Josie.
Really?
Convergent evolution.
Convergent
Divergent.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Excellent. But yeah, like, evolution is fucked up and weird, and we end up with, like, platypi.
Everything is himbos.
Right?
Yeah.
So everything is himbos. Blessed are the himbos, for they shall inherit the video podcasts.
Yes.
For they curl as much as they can in their tank tops.
Yeah, but don't skip leg day, because just don't do that. It's bad. Okay, where was I going? I really thought I had not looked up enough stuff. But anyway, so the Dutch. So this guy,
is the show.
Yeah.
This guy in 1564 in Antwerp, this man Rembert Dodoens published this book called the Croix de Boek. I probably mangled that, in Flemish. And there was a French language translation by a man named Charles de l'Écluse. And the French translation found its way to Henry Lyte. And Henry Lyte presumably had some correspondence with Charles de l'Écluse, because he had an edition that was dedicated to him with the dedication that, if I'm not mistaken, was something like, Henry Lyte taught me to speak English, which I think is very funny.
Wow, they got some like pen pal going on.
Yeah.
And so he translated it from the French, which was a translation of the Flemish. He translated it to English in 1578.
So we're on the third translation.
We're on the third translation of it. Exactly. And I found this really beautiful essay about Henry Lyte and, like, the making of this book by British novelist Jane Borrowdale. She wrote this essay for herbalhistory.org. And I just thought this was, like, a really beautiful thing. She wrote a historical novel called The Knot. I'm just going to read this from the essay. My historical novel, The Knot, is an exploration of an interstice in herbal history. It pieces together known fragments of the life of early modern herbalist Henry Lyte, who lived and died at his family seat, Lyte's Carey Manor, now owned by the National Trust, on the edge of the Somerset Levels. Henry's translation of Rembert Dodoens' Croix de Boek was published in 1578, about 600 pages long. He called it a new herbal, or history of plants, and it became the standard work on herbs in the English language in the latter part of the 16th century. His aim was that the ordinary person, without the advantage of an elite education, could access information about readily available plants for medicinal purposes, hoping that, quote, even the meanest of my countrymen, whose skill is not so profound that they can fetch this knowledge out of strange tongues, not their ability so wealthy as to entertain a learned physician, may yet in time of their necessity have some helps in their own or their neighbors' fields and gardens at home. So, like, man of the people.
Nice.
Truly,
yeah,
like,
he's basically Gusto from Ratatouille. Anyone can cook, but he's like, anyone can herbal garden.
Anyone can herbal garden. And actually, I mean, it was probably less gardening than foraging, than, like, just being like, you should know these things about these plants around, and that they have medicinal properties, and you can read them in English specifically. Because, I mean, as Borrowdale observes, it was a phenomenal task to undertake this translation, because aside from translating the main body of text, for every one of the 900 plants described, Henry would have had to identify and ascertain the precise English name for the Latin, French, Greek, or Arabic already cited in the original. In the 16th century, with a myriad range of local names and varieties to negotiate, this could only have been done by someone with a thorough practical working knowledge of botany and plant identification. Lyte also had the benefit of being situated within a personal network of apothecaries, physicians, seedsmen and plantsmen, simplers.
Seedsmen.
I know, right? Simplers, I love as well.
Himbos. himbos, if you will.
Himbos, the seedsmen of the modern day.
Scholarly men of science, such as the intellectual group centered around Lime Street in London. So anyway, there's like all this interesting stuff about Henry Lyte. But why then, central question, why then, if it was the like preeminent herbal of the day, why is it that when I Google this phrase, this other book with an inferior description of pomegranates comes up instead? The reason is apparently that 20 years after the publication of A Niewe Herbal, this guy commissioned a new translation in English by John Gerard. I don't know, that guy. By J.G.
Roger, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jared Ford.
Jared
God,
Ford.
Jared
Ford.
Jared
President.
Ford.
Jared.
Man. He's just got all kinds of
Botanist
deals
and
that he's doing with MBS, trying to bring that Saudi money into the
my
herbal gardens in New York.
The thing is, you say this as a joke. However,
It's always the same. It's always the same thing that happens.
This man,
MBS, he's using his money 600 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah,
continue.
no. It's okay. So this guy, his translation, right, did become much more popular. It became like the better known translation, by far. 20 years later. And again, like publishing is a very different beast at this time. Like there's obviously, even
They weren't
today,
looking at like his Instagram followers to make sure that like he had a big enough following for them to decide they're going to publish his book or not. Yeah.
I'm not going to contradict any of that because it's 100% true.
100%.
But I was thinking more of just the material conditions of publishing. Like now, right? It's kind of difficult to find a book that was first published 20 years ago, whether it's like a textbook or whatever. Like you have to do a little bit of searching. There's like a kind of like, if something, even things that were bestsellers 20 years ago, like they don't necessarily have longevity.
They kind of get lost.
Yeah, they could have been very successful, but now like they're not in print anymore. You might find them in secondhand shops. So just imagine like in the 16th century, the printing press has only been around for like a couple hundred years.
Right.
Printing a book with illustrations means that you have to literally physically go to the place where the wood cut, like the blocks for printing the images are, because you can't ship them because they're too heavy and huge and expensive to do that.
Crazy.
So you actually have to take like your manuscripts and stuff to those locations to get them printed. It's an enormous undertaking. And a lot of the time, I'm hesitant to say this because while perhaps I know more about this than a layperson, I definitely know less about this than a scholar. I know 18th...
You're in good company.
We are not scholars here.
I know 18th and 19th century like publishing better, but the thing about it is like publishers, printers, and bookstores used to be the same thing. If you were a publisher, you had a shop front, like because a printing press was a physical thing that everything was organized around, and people had printing presses,
like upstairs or something. They had like off the side of their house.
Exactly. So like there was just like a real physicality to everything. But all to say that if something was popular, it was also like, popular in a specific area in a specific way. If it was getting disseminated, there was like you just have to kind of like imagine a very different scale. So 20 years on, entirely possible that, a household might have this herbal that Henry Lyte had done, but not necessarily like it's not necessarily as available anymore. I couldn't swear to that, but the idea that it's time for another English translation, fine.
Another Spider-Man.
But the twist here is that, another spider. You just keep retelling the origin story of the pomegranate.
But make it worse every time. Let's do that.
The rights are about to expire. That's why they got to do it every 2 years.
Exactly.
So I could make us... Oh, no.
Not anymore, because now it's all
Now
Disney.
Marvel owns. Now Disney. Now everyone's owned by Larry Ellison at this point.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So the main thing that is interesting to me about this, I had some irritation towards John Gerard because just saw that one fucking quote. But it turns out, as I learned more about him, he was a bad man. He was a plagiarist. He was not the first choice for this new English translation of this herbal. He was the second choice. The first choice was a man named, incredibly named actually, Dr. Priest was his name.
That's not real.
So
That can't be real.
Priest, it's correct.
Dr. Priest?
Dr. Robert Priest, which I
That
don't
sounds
know,
like a Muppet.
have you
Bobby Priest here.
the first, but anyway,
Shout
Dr. Robert Priest had been the first choice for the role of this translator, but he died before completing
no.
it. All right.
Oh no.
And Gerard claimed that he had started his translation from scratch, but apparently he just helped himself to the substantial work that Dr. Priest had done and pretended
Priest.
he hadn't. And I will point you now to the tab. John Gerard has his own Wikipedia page.
Everybody listening is like, no more tabs. I can't open it. I'm at the limit. But I'm open this John Jarrett.
Opening up a tab on,
So anyway,
on Nurse Monk is the next person that was going to take over.
Nurse Monk.
I need that to be the TV show Monk, except it's just in a doctor setting.
Nurse
Monk. I want to name
Nurse
a TV character that, actually. I think that's great.
A healer?
No, a literal monk named Nurse Monk. But if you're a monk class,
He just drinks beer all the time.
There's a subclass where you can literally, there's something called Hand of Harm and Hand of Healing. So you can punch someone to
just
make
like
them
pomegranates, hand of sweetness and hand of sour.
Yes.
The pomegranate monk.
Ooh, that's actually cool. That's actually cool and evocative. I'm stealing that. I will credit you, but I am stealing it.
I hope
Not
that I'm just
unlike
somebody who gets killed in whatever next book you write, hopefully.
Oh, please. That's the only way I'll read a book with your name, with you in it.
Kaveh, how many times have you been
kidding.
put into a book, actually? Because you're in Lindsay's books. your
that's
name,
the only time.
Kaveh, is...
Oh, yes.
You did also narrate
2?
them. Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
I narrated
no.
the second.
I stuck you in the thank yous, but I didn't name
You put me in the
anything
thank
after
you, yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
Never mind.
that's great.
Because
Because
Lindsay's a real friend, Hannah. That's why
Yep.
she writes me into a book so she can kill me. Otherwise,
I'm saving it to
this
kill
whole
you
time
in
you could have
real
killed
life,
me in any
because
one of
I'm
the
a
books
better
that you
friend.
write.
I'll
Listen,
kill you
I want to be
and-
like the Sean Bean of literature, just being put into every book and being killed. That would be a great thing to be known for.
Noted. Okay, my next book I write,
So
I will
great.
kill you in such a
Petition
way.
to make me the Sean Bean of lit.
I have very little to go further, but all I wanted to say I wanted to spit on the name of John Gerard, who was the
Screw you.
who mangled the beautiful poetry that stayed with me for 15 years. Turned out he's a fucking plagiarist. He stole the work that Dr. Priest had done, and not only did he steal it, he fully claimed that the work was his own. So in his
Bastard.
1597 Herbal, he wrote the only kind of original material was the preface in which he was lying about having
He's like,
done the
"I wrote
work.
this."
All right.
Idiot.
He literally claimed, he wrote, and since that Dr. Priest, one of our London College hath, as I heard, translated the last edition of Dodonaeus, which meant to publish the same, but being prevented by death, his translation likewise perished. Lastly, myself, one of the least among
catty.
many, have presumed to set forth into the view of the world the first fruits of these mine own labours.
Wow, there is nothing more that says I'm lying than
Yeah.
all of those words.
Right?
Also, herbs aren't fruits, all right? You could have done a better pun there of some sort, idiot.
So,
Back then you could do whatever you wanted, though. You're
Yeah.
like, by the way, I wrote all of this, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. There were also
Between
things.
milling and whatever they did back then.
Yeah, the other thing about this that's infuriating to me personally, from given our current moment where we are with things like we have these machines. I don't know if you've heard, but there are machines that plagiarize text.
Oh,
I
the
would
plagiarism
never-
machines.
The plagiarism machines.
The reason none of my friends have jobs? No, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, well, so you know how they currently are doing things like making completely invented foraging guides that people buy on the internet and then
Really?
Oh my god. Yes, there are
What?
fake
Oh, I did not know
foraging
about this.
guides generated by, AI technology, by LLMs, by ChatGPT situations where people are just generate a book with, let's say, a guide to, let's say, foraging mushrooms.
No.
If
you do one wrong thing with mushroom
You're
foraging,
dead.
you're
Yeah,
dead.
yeah. A fun thing about mushrooms is loads of them look the same. And they are identical to each other. And some of them you eat and they don't kill you. But most of them you eat and they do kill you. And so if you take a fake fucking guide out into the wilderness and you use it to try and determine this, you will die, right? There's just fake bad information, a current problem that we have, but it was anticipated also by John Gerard in
John
1597, 98. And because in the herbiary, he also made loads of errors. He did not have the same erudition that Henry Lyte had to be able to make like those similar translations. And so he included nonsense in there, like Gerard's
like AI
lack.
slop?
This is actually so great. His lack of scientific training and knowledge led him to frequent inclusion of material that was incorrect, folkloric, or mythical, such as the barnacle tree that bore geese. See illustration.
What the shit?
It was like literally an illustration.
And it's kind of awesome, though. The
It
barnacle.
Hello.
The image.
Hello.
Hello.
The
Hello.
Britannica conchanatifera, the breed of barnacles.
Oh, look at that image.
It's gigantic.
Right?
It's like a giant.
And you can see little gooses in the background. And the geese are coming
geese.
out. I don't know if you can see, like, if you look closely at the bottom
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
one.
Birthed
They're
out of
being
the
birthed
barnacles.
out of the barnacles.
This is somehow way weirder than I could even imagine.
Right?
Like, I thought it would be weird, but
Yeah.
whoa.
And this was like in the same book as here are some pomegranates and how to grow them. Here are some geese and how to grow them from a barnacle tree, right? So just it was full of these kinds of errors and nonsenses and stuff. He was not like he did not have that same network of like the Lime Street botanists and stuff like that to refer to, but he does seem to have like had that kind of influencer capacity of knowing the right kind of like nobles and stuff to recommend him forward and stuff.
That's 100% what it is.
Yeah. And there's lots of other like weird little nonsense in there, but I mostly wanted to take you from pomegranates to plagiarism. This has been this stuff that I find very interesting that my spouse and perhaps others find deadly dull. But nevertheless, I think it's cool.
No, it was great.
And
We got you gave us Dr. Priest first
Dr.
of all.
Priest.
We're gonna hold
Listen.
on to that forever.
I found out that our brains are identical.
Yay!
In the way that they find information and seek it out. And I see. At first, I thought you were going to talk about how pomegranate and the word grenade are the same
This
root.
is true. They do. Well,
Yeah.
the actual grenades are named for pomegranates.
Yeah,
They are
because
literally
they're full of shrapnel,
exactly
full of seeds. and so-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, the word
Same word.
garnet, the word garnet
Oh.
comes from granite.
Duh.
And I learned there's this term. This is another open tab I have. There's a thing called metathesis, which just means to put in a different order. So there are words where we like will transpose sounds to make a different word. So the word anemone becomes like anemone, which is onset consonants of. Wait, no, that's what's happening there. I actually don't know what anemone is, but cavalry and calvary.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Parabola in Latin becomes the palabra in Spanish. Miraculum in Latin is Spanish milagro. Like, anyways,
Miracle.
garnet and granite are an example of that.
Interesting.
So the word garnet comes from that, and which makes so much sense because pomegranates look like they're full of beautiful jewels, which is part of the thing that's so delightful about them.
Gerald and what was it?
John Gerard. Yeah, how would it
Gerard
be?
and Gerald.
And Gerald.
Screw John Gerard. We're setting the
Gerard.
record straight. He's a fraud.
A fraud.
I'm a light.
He can
light
never be
man
a Dr.
myself.
Priest.
He could
Exactly.
never be a Dr.
Justice
Priest.
for Henry Lyte and also
To
for
drop out.
Rembert Dodoin and stuff who deserved better to have translations. done
I
of him.
loved that whole
Yes.
journey that we just went on.
Amal, thank you.
Thank you.
It was beautiful. It was poetic, which
Yes.
what I would have expected from you,
Thank
honestly.
you. Thank you so much.
I felt like I was at a really fun lecture in a university.
Yes.
And I mean that
can't
in a
leave it
good
behind.
way.
No, for sure. I did teach for so long,
you
and
did?
it's impossible. I was looking at this, going I don't know how to make this not be an essay, so I'm just gonna try and do it.
That's what
But
what we like.
Yay!
Yeah.
Everyone
Thank you.
brings their different things.
Thank you so much.
For those of our listeners who are part of the Patreon, you're probably going to get a bunch of little excerpts here of stuff that had to get cut for time. So if you haven't done so, please go ahead and sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/500open tabs, and get some of those extra goodies.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Especially-
fantastic, wonderful stuff that Amal explained to us that unfortunately wasn't going to make it into the proper episode. But it'll all be there. So go check it out.
The
Especially
improper
if you love,
episodes.
If you want to hear all about us both talking about Welsh mythology in a way that made Kaveh want to leave his body.
You just turned the camera off for that section. It's perfect. I contributed nothing. I'm just staring dead-eyed while you guys talked about stuff.
we both realized we speak well. Anyway, go to the Patreon. $1, $3 a month. That's what, 10 cents a day?
Oh, wow. I've literally never thought of it. I'm not here to shill for this, except I am. I want you to make money.
You should
but
be.
I just
Shill
mean
for
that I
us.
truly have never thought of it as 10 cents a day. That is
Nothing.
so that
It's a
is
dime.
Yeah. That makes it so good. It's like it's still
And if
possible.
you buy the whole year, it's even cheaper.
Wow.
Anyway.
Really? Or you
Yes.
can pay more if you want. It doesn't have to
Yep.
be $3. You can give us $300 a month if you'd like.
Seriously.
And if you
Uh,
are able to that, you should do that. If you are
Yeah.
a person who can pay $300 a month for a podcast,
Yes.
then you have enough money that you should do that multiple times.
Yeah,
and
Mark
you
Cuban.
Yeah, you should just give your money away, like Billie Eilish said to do.
Yeah, to us.
Yes.
Yeah, to artists very specifically.
Yes, writers. So they can write
it's-
more books about me getting killed. Moving on.
Yes.
Hannah, would you like to go first or should I go?
Sure. This one I've had open for like a year, and I just haven't found the right time to do it. But here I am. Okay, we're setting the scene. I'm doing one of my set the scenes. Okay.
Love it.
The year is 1947. Okay, I promise. I keep trying to leave this era, but I can't. So we're children. Okay, we're all children. It's 1947. You live in a little house in the suburb with your parents. The war is over, and besides your dad's new, angrier personality due to war trauma and your mom's lobotomy, you have a pretty good life, right? You're just a kid biking around. And before school one morning, while your mom begins the process of making, what did you say, cigarette-flavored Jell-O?
Cigarette-flavored
Kaveh?
Jell-O is what I always say, yeah.
Yeah, for you and your siblings, you open the newspaper to read the funny pages, okay?
All right.
And your eye gets caught on something else. So you look down to see a half-page advertisement, okay? And I'm going to send you a picture of this half-page
Okay.
advertisement because we're going to talk about what's in this advertisement.
Amal, you want to read the headline for the audience?
Hell yes. Let me pull this up. Wow. Oh my God.
It's
Okay.
a lot.
An advertisement of General Mills, Inc. See genuine atoms split to smithereens inside this Kix atomic bomb ring. Has secret message compartment. Oh my God.
That is
Only
there's
15
a lot
cents
of words.
plus box top. And it's a picture
So-
of a nuclear bomb with like the one ring to rule them all with like a missile on top of it or something.
This is 2 years post dropping the bomb.
This
Oh,
is
yeah,
cool,
so-
though. The drawing's awesome.
You're a kid, right? You see that and you say, wait, isn't that the thing we needlessly dropped on Japan, despite knowing that if we had given it a couple more days, the emperor would have seen that the victory was impossible due to the Soviets invading Manchuria and bringing a two-pronged attack on the already weakened Japan, and who would have likely agreed to the terms of surrender presented at the Potsdam Conference earlier that month? Yes.
Look at you doing a Hannah rant. I love it.
And now you could have your own miniature version of that crime against humanity on a ring to wear on your finger. Your little kid mind is just like, this is amazing. I have to have it. So you convince your lobotom mom to give you 15 cents. No! And she looks up from slicing the cigarettes she's putting in the Jell-O salad and says, of course, honey, you can have whatever you want. Okay, so you put it in the mail, right? It finally arrives. And unlike Ralphie's Ovaltine decoder ring from the Christmas Story, I'm pulling a Kaveh today and referencing things and
Love
going
it.
on rants.
I'm,
okay?
I'm here for it. You're doing rants. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language. Go.
Unlike the decoder ring in A Christmas Story for Ovaltine or whatever, this does not disappoint. This shows up in the mail, and it says you got to take it to a dark closet, let your eyes adjust, and watch the show. So what you do is you take this Yep.
No.
So you go to the closet, you pop open the little capsule, and when you look inside, you can see little lights flashing like little bombs. It blows your kid mind. Because
Okay.
you're like, now I can relive World War II. What?
Is it actually radioactive?
Yes.
Of course it fucking is. Of course it fucking is. Of course
It is. It is a radioactive cereal box toy. All right. So
How many of
Like
these
you
have you
said.
found in your parents' basement, Hannah? That's the question that I have.
People
Well-
are eating irradiated cereal.
So I thought
Well,
that at
the,
first. and
the cereal, you said it's like you send away for it, right?
You
Oh,
send
you
not
it
in
to
the box,
a
yeah.
box
like
top.
right. Okay.
All
Yeah.
these social
Can
media
collect
posts
your
are like,
UPC codes, yeah.
are like it's just in a cereal box, and it's like no. You send away for it. So you send away. If
They
people
used to
don't
have
know.
to do that, by the way. They don't. The kids these days don't understand. You used to have to collect like all the UPC codes from like
Yeah.
all the different things, and then collect 30 of them, send it away,
Put
and
'em
pay
in an
for
envelope.
shipping. Yeah,
Yes. Just to get some
and it
dumb
would come like 6 weeks later.
radioactive ring. Yeah, it would take forever.
I need need my nuclear bomb now. I don't have time to wait for 2 months.
Unlike Eisenhower, I'm not going to make this hasty decision overnight. Okay, so was it him?
Can I just say
him, right?
you
Who
in
dropped
the
the bomb?
last 5 minutes? Oh, sorry.
No, it was Truman.
Truman.
Truman, sorry. They're the same person in my mind. Truman.
You have taught me so much about that I did not know. I did not know that the emperor was on the cusp of. I didn't know that. I did not.
They
know.
were-
Unconditional
very
surrender
close.
was a total bullshit PR move.
Oh no, we wanted to. Here's what it was.
They
It
wanted to
was
drop the bomb. Yeah.
It was a pissing contest to show the Soviets what we had.
Yep.
Because the Soviets had just joined the war against Japan. And Japan was like, we're toast. We got to give in. Bam. Bombed.
Oh
Not
my
once, but
fucking
twice.
God.
Yeah. Because we had to show the Soviets we don't only have one of these, but we have 2 of these, which means we have more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is so much more evil
Yeah.
than like it was
Yeah.
already so evil.
Yeah.
But the fact that it is just even more, I didn't know it could become more evil. I briefly in a slightly less evil digression. Are you familiar with the works of Kate Bush?
Yeah.
I just think of the
toy.
lyric.
I like mythology
Running up
in
that
Britain.
hill,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah. No, but there's like the line in Cloud Busting. And it goes like, "You're like my yo-yo that glowed in the dark. What made it special made it dangerous." So I bury
Love
it
that.
and forget and stuff. But anyway, that just
love
came to
Kate
mind.
Bush.
Came to mind.
Radioactive
Love it.
child's toy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, you stand off all the box tops and you're in your closet. You're looking at this, and as a kid, it's just kind of like, man, oh, cool, new technology, space age stuff.
Yeah.
But how did that actually work? Surely
They
like
wouldn't
I
put
was
us
gonna
kids
say.
in harm.
they wouldn't. They
No.
wouldn't harm us.
Of course not.
Thanks, government.
The kids in Nevada, downwind from the test sites, were like, "Oh, we've got plenty of this already. Don't worry." Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Please go on.
Dark.
No, it glows.
so-
It glows in the dark. So it can't ever be that dark,
Dude,
surely.
One time I was like, how does glow in the dark work? And then I had to close the tab immediately. I'm like, I don't want to know any of this. I don't understand this. I don't care. So it was absolutely radioactive, being made using polonium-210, a highly deadly poison,
Jesus Christ.
if ingested. And it is
Oh, okay.
still used to this day in assassinations.
Oh.
Do you remember that Russian dude who got assassinated by like the walking cane that like stabbed into his leg or whatever?
Did they just stab him and make him swallow one of these rings specifically?
Like, open up. I think that's
He's
the
all, it's
same.
vintage.
I haven't heard of this because every time I hear of a Russian being assassinated, it's usually that they've been pushed out of a window, they've fallen out of a window,
Yeah,
or
fallen out of
they've
a window.
fallen out of a plane in the sky.
Yep.
Or,
Yeah.
They're always doing
so,
that.
Yeah, they're just always
Be a little bit
falling.
more safe. Come on, you guys.
Yeah.
Buckle
Stop
your
being so
seatbelt.
clumsy.
Yeah, exactly. So mysterious. Stabbing with a cane.
I think so.
Was it like
I
a
remember it was
sword
in,
cane,
like-
or was it like a
No,
sharpened tip of cane?
It was actually a candy
actually
cane filled
don't
with some of
remember.
the stuff that they
ate
stabbed him
it.
with.
No, I think I'm maybe mixing up 2 assassinations,
Okay.
to be honest with you. So I think in like 2006, there
How
was this
dare you
one
ruin
where-
this scholarly podcast, Anna?
Oh, by the way, if you want to argue with other people about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, go to the YouTube comments right down below and get us some views, okay?
What do you
Point is-
think the Venn diagram of people who think about the Roman Empire and people who argue in the YouTube comments about World War II? Is it a
It's a
circle?
circle.
Circle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a total circle.
It's a
And they're all
circle.
bots, by the way. They're not even real people.
100%.
Well, okay.
So the way this works is that they use it in assassinations in large quantities, and it kills you. It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it works is that it's this thing called a spinthariscope, and it was this accidental discovery that would go on to be used to determine half-life of different isotopes, made by this guy named William Crookes in 1903. So he was
Oh, I know this.
messing around
Yeah.
with this, because back then everyone's like, I don't know, should we eat it? Should we lick it? What do we do with this stuff? And he, Marie Curie was like actively just pockets full of radiation, and so he was just messing around with this polonium-210, and he accidentally spills it on a sample of zinc sulfide screen, and suddenly notices that it's producing these little like flashes of light, like little bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, that's dope. And so they start using it, and they quickly realized this is pretty safe to like let kids play with. As long as it's in like a science kit, or like, because the thing with polonium-210 is that it is deadly, but it is also very easily blocked. So even a piece of paper put in front of it will block the radiation from getting to you. So all these posts, this is kind of a debunking, because all these posts on the internet are like, can you believe what they used to do? Poisoning kids. And unfortunately, for the fun of the podcast, it did not actually poison anybody.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad to have this
Me too.
information.
It's less fun to talk about on the internet.
I mean,
but
listen,
it did not poison kids.
My partner is fond of like telling me about what Britain was like in the 1980s. He was born in 1980, but nevertheless, he wants to like, he has 2 older brothers and therefore kind of has that pocket of knowledge. And he was like, he would remember like getting a science kit as a gift and stuff, and whatever was in it fully like melted the countertops that they were like.
Shit.
And it was just like, wow, I got a science kit in the 1990s and it didn't do any of that. It was like, here you could put colors in water and you could
Make
see
a
like
bouncy ball.
siphons and how siphons work. There was like a magnet inside a plastic frog and you could make the plastic frog. You learned about like poles of magnets and how they work. Do you learn those things?
They just gave them nuclear polonium. Yeah.
This isn't shitification. This is like just truly.
Well, seriously, can't we? Come on, bring it back.
Bring it back. Well, the
I want to
acids
eat
that
a
melts
ring out of a
countertops.
Kix bowl of Kix. Okay.
Yes.
I want to eat radiation out of a bowl of Kix,
They
like the
still
old
make
days.
Kix? It's still around, right?
Oh yeah, I eat Kix, dude. It's delicious.
Oh my
So,
God.
kid approved, mother approved, or whatever they say.
Wait, so
Kid tested, mother approved. That's what it was. Yeah.
Kix is this this still exists? I don't know this cereal. This is not. I don't think we have that in Canada.
Do they have cereal in Canada? What's it like? I don't actually know.
Occasionally, we
not
do have
sugary.
cereal. The conditions have to be right. It's a very wintry country, and so for 3 months of the year, we are able to harvest the fruit of the cereal tree.
I
cereal
assume it's
tree.
just maple syrup with like a bunch of milk put into it every morning.
There are 2
Just
kinds
drink
of
maple
cereal:
syrup.
the wild and the tame. And I brought it back.
That was good.
Love it.
Anyway, sorry.
So this spinthariscope was like a technology that they were like, hey, we can actually make this tiny and make this little zinc plate and put it inside this little capsule that we could attach to this ring, that it could become this little viewing capsule that you could look at in the dark and get a feeling of like the magic of nuclear science.
Mass death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of mass death. And it wasn't dangerous mostly as long as you didn't eat the ring. You could safely play
Don't tell
with
me
it.
what to do. This is America.
I know. Look, it is within my right to eat the ring, okay? Frodo would have eaten the ring if this were America.
100%.
100% would have
imagine?
turned him invisible.
Gollum would have definitely eaten that thing, just been shitting it out and then eating it again and then
eating
shitting it
again
out
and
and just
again
in
and
a
again.
cycle.
Oh my God, it never occurred to me. Of course, no one can take the ring from you if you just like eat it. No, never mind. Anyway, yeah. Maybe in
you're
fact
thinking
they
it.
could, but
We've brought you to our level.
Yes.
God.
Welcome to being dumber now.
You know what's actually occurring now that I'm thinking through the logistics of this? You would just be invisible, right? Until the moment you shot it out. So you'd have to
you're
actually
right.
think that you could get
if
away.
it's inside of you, does it make you invisible or do you have to put it on your finger
Well,
to
I
become
wouldn't. This is
invisible?
the thing.
I have to look this up.
So, he's wearing it and it's not making him invisible.
Oh,
But
right.
when you
Right.
put your finger inside it, you are
Sure.
becoming invisible. I think if the ring is inside you, then parts of you are necessarily inside it. And therefore,
I was going to say, if you're inside of it, then the ring becomes invisible while you stay solid. By that
so
logic.
by that logic,
So here it is. You don't have to put it on your finger. So it's just that if you wear it next to your body, it will harm you like it does whenever it burns his skin. And it doesn't necessarily, let's see. Oh.
But listen, isn't this like an English guy from like 100 years ago? Like they can't handle anything spicy in general, I'm assuming, right? So if
Not
you do
even
consume
nuclear.
it, I think if like any kind of brown person that can eat it, that eats jalapenos all day, we could handle it.
You could
It's probably
pass
not
the
a big
one ring easily.
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
You think you could? You want to try?
Yeah. I think I could do it. I'll be on
We'll
hot
both
ones.
eat
I don't
the
give a
one rings,
shit.
okay?
I'll go to like
We'll beat
the bomb, just dousing it all over.
Can I?
You and me, Kaveh, next Comic-Con, we're going to both eat the one ring and see who poops it out first.
But the thing
You know it's going to be you because I don't
Neither.
go while I'm at a convention.
Oh,
is
no,
this a
dude,
Kaveh
this guy
fact
is,
that is like widely
Yes.
known?
Oh, yeah, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's like disabled. He like, it's like, there's a switch that turns off when he gets on an airplane.
And it's like, nope.
No more.
Okay. Maybe it would help. Maybe it would.
That's true. Maybe
It's like an
one
emetic?
laxative to rule them all.
the one enema to rule them all.
Oh my God.
Well, on that note, I'm going to
Yeah.
finish my tab. So it's got to be used in like toy science kits, and these were going all over. People, there's still, you can buy these on eBay right now. Get on eBay and buy them.
Shit, let's do it.
Oh my
But
God.
here's the thing: the half-life of polonium-210 is only 4 months. So
You can't even get killed by this thing anymore?
You can't even get killed by it anymore. But if you piss off
woke.
Russia, they'll do it for you. Wait, too woke.
If you piss off Russia, they will do what for you?
Kill you.
They'll kill you.
Okay.
They'll poison you with a candy cane.
I just like if you. I was trying to imagine the nation of Russia doing something very specific with this ring, like, and they're just
famously that was part of Stalin's plan to industrialize Russia as fast as possible was to produce kicks.
Yeah. Yep.
Get your kicks on Route
66. We love them.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just like these are phrases I know.
amazing.
I'm not American. I just know some things about America.
Wow, lucky. I have healthcare. So the atomic bomb ring has actually been credited by many scientists and nuclear physicists as their introduction to it. And it being like the very first chance they were able to be like, oh, this can actually be on a smaller level, and then I can actually interact with it. And it kind of weirdly enhanced the field because all these kids were suddenly very interested.
Huh.
And that's my story about the Kix atom bomb ring.
Love it.
I don't want to take time away from Kaveh. I just the thing about like a scientist, like scientists crediting their interest in science to something cool that they encountered at a moment has reminded me of something topical that I would love to tell you about.
Nice.
But I can wait until afterwards, or I could say now if you wanted.
Go for it.
But yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, so you know that Tom Stoppard died a couple of days yesterday. Actually,
who?
I don't know who Tom Stoppard is.
Tom Stoppard is a playwright. He wrote Arcadia, which I deeply love. He wrote the Real Inspector Hound. He wrote many plays.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Of course. Yes,
sorry,
that one.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Sorry,
Okay.
I was like, there's one that everybody knows. What is it? And then my brain was going through layers of opacity.
No worries.
He died yesterday, and
rest in peace.
but there's a play called Arcadia that I have not seen staged, but that I've listened to a very beautiful BBC radio play of that Stu and I listened to while he was driving me to Loch Lomond in the rain. It was a beautiful thing. Anyways,
Beautiful.
but I saw this piece of text that was in response to his obituary. I'm just going to read it. It's very short. It's by someone named Michael Baum, Professor Emeritus of Surgery and visiting Professor of Medical Humanities at UCL. And it's called Saved by Stoppard. Sir, in 1993, my wife and I went to see the first production of Arcadia by Tom Stoppard, obituary December 1st, and in the interval, I experienced a Damascene conversion. As a clinical scientist, I was trying to understand the enigma of the behavior of breast cancer, the assumption being that it grew in a linear trajectory, spitting off metastases on its way. In the first act of Arcadia, Thomasina asks her tutor Septimus, if there is an equation for a curve like a bell, there must be an equation for one like a bluebell, and if a bluebell, why not a rose? With that, Stoppard explains chaos theory, which better explains the behavior of breast cancer. At the point of diagnosis, the cancer must have already scattered cancer cells into the circulation that nest latent in distant organs. The consequence of that hypothesis was the birth of adjuvant systemic chemotherapy, and rapidly we saw a striking fall of the curve that illustrated patients' survival.
What?
Stoppard never learned how many lives he saved by writing Arcadia.
Damn.
And it just like fucking kills me.
That is so
Seeing some
cool.
insane connections to some other stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's just like
that's why art from humans is important, everybody.
It's
Yes.
specifically like the cross-pollination. Like I saw Robin Sloan, who's a wonderful writer, has a gorgeous newsletter, like repost this saying, this is like why like the cross-pollination of ideas is so important. And I'm going to bring it back to this podcast because you guys talk about so many things from so many different places. And like, you know, there is a lot of cross-pollination that happens. But like the idea that a doctor goes to see a play and emerges with a new understanding of how to look at breast cancer, a thing which does not come up in the play, to be very clear, right?
But an image of it.
And the play is specifically...
A visualization,
Yeah, the play is specifically about this meeting of math and poetry, actually. Like, is a very beautiful thing about that. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah. Cool. It's funny, I have the opposite experience where it's like I'll watch a lot of whatever nature shows or like we do deep dives into like random animal stuff. And then I'm like, that's like a funny story. That's something from this. And I can write about this thing. And then that's where I pull a lot of my, as Hannah knows, a lot of my stories from.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, that's necessary as well for like these things to happen because whatever like germinates in your mind becomes art that someone else is going to encounter and carry on. And it's beautiful.
Things aren't made in a vacuum. They're all intertwined.
They're also not made by plagiarism machines.
They're not. Anyway.
Thank you for that eloquent story. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell my tab now after that.
What do you have?
Yeah,
What
what's
did
your
you
tab?
bring?
Rough act to follow. Okay, so many of us are familiar with the story of John Wick. Hannah, I don't know if
yeah,
you're familiar
I've
with the
seen
story
it.
of John Wick. You have seen John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not
Amal,
seen
you've
John Wick. I am familiar. The story as I know it is that someone killed his dog and therefore had to die.
Exactly.
He,
Yes.
he went nuts.
Yeah.
That's sort of that's basically what I was going to say next.
I didn't want to watch it. And they're like, no, but he kills everybody who killed his dog.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Basically.
okay.
Yes.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly relatable.
And he snaps, he stops at nothing, killing everyone who stands in his way until he feels justice has been served.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a touching tale about the bond between a man and his dog,
Yes.
and to a lesser extent his 1969 Ford Mustang, but that's for another podcast. But what if the reverse had happened? How far would a dog go if his innocent owner had been murdered? Would the dog too stop at nothing until justice had been served? For one man and his canine companion in the 14th century France, the answer was a resounding, you bet your ass.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I'm so excited.
I'm just going to say this up front, that this
You
tab...
just said a bunch of words we both loved.
I just love that we both had. I was feeling very vulnerable about having a 16th century thing. So the fact that you brought a 14th century thing is very good to me personally.
You guys, I pivoted from a 15th century thing earlier
we
today.
could have had a straight. We could have
Did it.
It's good. Like we have the cross pollination, like you said.
Exactly.
There's different eras and different
Tell me-
tabs. But so
tell
I'm
me
just
about
gonna
this
say
hound.
up front, this tab
Yeah.
is mostly for entertainment purposes. The story's a mess, and there's like 5 different sources that all have names
Sure.
and small details
Nice.
that are vastly different. But the core of the story is more or less the same. So whatever. There's going to be tiny things that you read differently from different places. But
Yep.
so I'm just going to try and do an aggregate as best as I can.
Absolutely.
This is my version of trying to get the correct story of
Yep.
folklore and try and like put it into the definitive edition. But
Sir
no, this is
Kaveh
my
Taharian.
interpretation of it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the oral tradition that I'm going to continue on this podcast, not
Excellent.
showing you my socks
Excellent.
about this story. So
Show him. Sock reveal.
You just like hold
Never.
up your socks
Show
in front
them
of the
mitts.
camera.
absolutely never. So
should have socks as
Aubrey de Montdidier was a French noble, and his
Ooh.
BFF
I know
allegedly was a. Do you know about
Yeah.
this story, or do you know this? Okay, his BFF was a dog named Dragon, supposedly, according to one of
Amazing.
the sources. Again, can't confirm this because there's 5 different sources for this, but I'm just going to go with it. Dragon may have been a greyhound, or he may have been like a mastiff of some kind, which in terms of dogs is like saying he could have been like Adrian Brody, or he could have been The Rock. It's like a
Yeah.
vast difference.
Could have
But-
been literally anything.
I don't know. Choose your own adventure. Whatever you want to put in your head in terms of what kind of dog this is, go for it. But regardless of what breed Dragon was, these two did everything together that a Frenchman and his dog would. They loved reading Asterix comics. They loved smoking cigarettes. They went on strike all the time.
Yes.
They were like completely inseparable, doing all the best French things. And one day, Aubrey was supposed to hang out with one of his friends, which is a knight named Ardillier. And Aubrey and Artie were both, I don't know, AMC A-list members, and were supposed to go see the Untouchables re-release, but Aubrey never showed up. And Artie was like, what the hell? Aubrey straight up ghosted me? Like, he didn't even text? That's really weird. I don't like that. But deep down, he was really relieved because he was feeling lazy and he didn't feel like leaving his house. So,
Like, I know how that feels.
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, thank God.
I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. Even
I
though
like.
and you get the upper hand of saying that you're not the one who canceled on him.
It's amazing.
A couple days go by and he still hasn't heard from Aubrey. And he's like,
No.
shit, is he mad at me? Did I like forget his birthday or something? And the next thing you know, he hears a bunch of scratching at his door. And Artie goes to check it. And sure enough, it's Dragon. But he's alone and he's looking kind of stringy and distraught and a little bit emaciated. And Artie lets him in the house and he offers him, I don't know, like a glass of Bordeaux or something to help calm the shakes because he is a French dog after all. And
The shakes, are you saying he's like in withdrawal from,
he's just...
like, the dog needs wine now?
I'm assuming so. He hasn't had a cigarette this whole time. And, he offers him, I don't know, like a croque monsieur. And suddenly he's starting to get his energy back and he's starting to feel normal. And Dragon starts jumping up and down by the door, clearly trying to get Artie to follow him somewhere. So Artie puts on his coat and Dragon leads him on a mission. They head out. Eventually,
Night, and I just picture him just putting on his armor.
Yeah,
Okay, time to put on my armor and
it's
walk
very
outside.
awkward.
My
He's like, it's
brazen
going to take me
greaves.
20 minutes to be like,
Clink, clink, clink.
We're going to go with it. It's a Mastiff. He's leading this
Yeah.
knight in full armor out into the
Hell
forest.
yes.
He's just like waddling.
He's basically just C-3PO is what I'm picturing now at this point.
Yeah, he's doing the C-3PO walk.
The dog's like R2-D2. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh. Because basically all the bots in Star Wars are basically small dogs, right? Like
They're dogs, yeah.
So yeah.
And so eventually Dragon leads Artie to the Bondi Forest, which allegedly at that time was filled with like thieves and ruffians and all kinds of questionable people. Are you familiar with the Bondi Forest, Amal? It seems like
I
something
am
you might
actually not. I have realized that what you are describing is not what I was thinking of. It is a different dog-related French legend, which I will not
You're gonna have
interrupt
to tell
with.
us once I get through
Yeah,
the tab.
exactly.
I want to know what this is. So eventually they ended up at this giant oak tree. And Dragon just decides, he's like, okay, this is it. And he sits on the ground and he doesn't move. He's like, this is where I'm trying to take you to. And Artie's like, okay, I don't have a good feeling about this. I think we should go get help. But Dragon's like, no, he's not moving. He's there. He's sitting there. He's not going to move. There's nothing that he can do to pull him away, depending on what size of dog he is. If he's a Mastiff or he's a Greyhound, it's going to be impossible. So Artie is like, all right, fine. I'm going to go back into town and get a couple of friends to come with me. So he goes back, gets a couple of his homies in town. They all get shovels or whatever. And they come back. And Hannah, your favorite, they begin to dig.
Digging.
Hell yes.
They're digging and they're digging and they're digging. And sure enough, they exhumed the body of Aubrey de Montdidier.
Oh.
It was really sad. It's a huge bummer.
Hmm.
And so everyone's crying. They're all really upset. And they buried Aubrey in Paris. But from then on, Dragon remained at Artie's side.
Of course.
And Artie, he's a little bit like, great, now I got to get up at 6 a.m. to go pick up this thing's shit in the freezing cold. But also, his master had just been murdered, who was also his friend. So they kind of trauma bonded, and it was fine. It worked out. It was kind of rough. But...
That's real. I want a movie of this immediately.
Always a soft movie pitch, you know me.
I know. You can't help it. Just comes
can't.
out like breathing.
Yeah.
And for a few weeks, they're chilling, adjusting to the new living arrangements. And one day, Artie is taking Dragon out for a walk, as he always does, on the main boulevard. And on this particular day, Dragon starts to get totally insane. And he's growling and getting super aggressive. And suddenly, he breaks off and attacks this rando who was walking across the street.
Yeah, he does.
This rando was a man named Macaire, who was wearing the uniform of the king's bodyguard.
Of course. ACAB.
Exact. Same brain. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're weirdly linked.
It got bad. It took a couple of people to pull Dragon away. And Artie, he's like, shit, I wonder if this guy, I don't know, did he have like sausages in his pocket or something? That was really weird. I've never seen him act like this. Because normally he's like a super friendly dog. And he doesn't think anything of it. And they go home. But then a few days later, they're going on another walk. And sure enough, they cross paths with Macaire yet again. And once again, Dragon goes totally apeshit. And suddenly, everyone, they're like, dude, this cannot just be a coincidence. And don't forget, these are all knights and nobles and like royal bodyguards and shit. So everyone's talking. They know this isn't just like a random person on the street. These are people in positions of power that everybody would know about.
Dog hates that guy.
Yeah.
The dog hates that guy. His master was killed. What's going on? Pretty soon, this catches the ear of King Charles. And King Charles, or Charles, as we would say, I guess, if he's the French one. But King Charles is like, all right, I got to do some damage control because we can't have all these people talking about like hot goss about my security detail. It's not good for business. Bring everybody in. So Artie and Dragon and Macaire, they're all brought before the king. And he looks at them and he's like, explain yourself. Before he could even finish, Dragon already is trying to tear Macaire's ass in half. Just cannot stop.
Hell yes.
What's the place in John Wick where they go? It's like this underground. Oh, I don't even remember.
Oh, the whole movie is just like some weird underground place.
With like neon lights and a lot of blood.
And, you know, the royal vizier like goes over and he whispers in the king's ear and he's like, oh, he tells him about how Dragon took Artie to find the body and he's been like jockeying for a fight over and over again. And the king's like, damn, bro, this dog is ride or die, like respect. But Macaire, of course, he's like, he denies the whole thing. He's like, I've never even seen that dog before in my entire life. I don't know why he has it out for me. This is all because of woke, obviously. Can't even be a straight man like working as a cop anymore without people attacking you.
Can't even eat radioactive rings anymore.
Absolutely.
And the king, he's thinking and he's sort of pacing back and forth in front of his throne and he's sort of scratching his head. And then suddenly he comes up with the perfect solution. Want to guess what it is?
No. No, I don't know.
3 words.
Actually, I will hazard a guess. Did he bring the corpse out to see if it would bleed in the presence of its murderer? A thing corpses
That's
will
actually a
do.
very interesting. I like that.
They would do that, wouldn't they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But maybe
Sadly, no. That is a very cool option, though.
No.
I like that one a lot. No. Trial by combat.
Oh.
a trial by combat between whom and whomst.
Yeah.
Macaire would get a chance to kill Dragon. But if
No!
Dragon won, that would prove that Macaire was guilty.
Solid
You know?
logic.
Flawless.
You know?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Fair.
And they wasted no time. That afternoon, the fight was on. And the king, his courtiers were all there to act as witnesses. Macaire was armed with a stick, and Dragon was given an empty barrel to hide in if he needed.
You know,
However,
that's actually I had a question about the choice of arms because I don't think it would have been fair if the guard had like a sword,
both of them.
right? that would have been a little more fair. But like the idea of like, well, what are we using? The dog has natural teeth, claws, fair,
teeth.
you know. But if you have a sword, that's not okay. But
Exactly.
Stick.
The king thought this through.
and
Yeah.
barrel actually are incredible,
Yeah.
right? Like this is good game design, is what this is.
That's why he was the royalty. That's why he was king. He was God gave him the big brain so that he could
That's
come up
why.
with this.
I really
Not because
actually
he was born to an inbred
No,
other
I
king.
really think the qualifications required to be a monarch should be expertise in game design. I think
Oh,
that would
100%.
be how we fix the game industry, actually. But anyway, all right.
I think you're right.
So, like I said, Dragon's given an empty barrel to hide in if he needs. But Dragon, he wouldn't need shit because he had been preparing for this moment for his entire life.
Uh-huh.
And pretty much as soon as like the bell went off or whatever it was to like get the fight started, Dragon comes out like he's Tyson fighting Holyfield. And he just lunges at Macaire and just like bites the shit out of him.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dog is so intense that Macaire essentially calls Uncle immediately and he confesses to the murder.
No way. Oh, of course.
For a second, when you said calls uncle, I thought he was like calling his actual uncle,
His
like
own
to,
uncle.
to
He's like,
call
"Uncle,
and
get me
help
outta
about-
here."
yeah, like calling a friend on how to be a millionaire. Like,
What if instead of phone a friend, it's just phone your uncle?
phone your uncle.
When your uncle
Because
doesn't pick
uncles-
up.
Oh
No, it doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah.
He's all, sorry, I was at the bar playing with my band.
Sorry, I was watching another documentary about the fall of Rome.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he confesses.
So he confesses, although I couldn't find exactly what the motive was, but I guess they're knights and shit. So they're probably, I don't know, someone
some fucking
stepped somewhere
grudge.
weird and then they challenged him to a duel and then he killed him. But
Maybe
So-
Aubrey said, "But my dog could take you in a fight."
he's basically, he's like, never. And he's like, yeah, he could.
Then he was right.
And they pry Dragon off, and the king comes over, and he's laughing, and he like slaps Macaire on the back, and he's like, "That was not so hard. Just tell the truth next time, and you can save yourself all that trouble." But honestly, that was awesome as shit. And Macaire's like, "Yeah, sure, cool. So like, am I free to go now that I told you the truth or whatever?" And Charles is like, "Oh no, bro, you killed a noble. You're fully gonna die."
yeah.
And
Not
that
partially.
same night, he was executed,
Hey!
and justice was served.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You said
Dragon.
because you said justice was served. I want there to be a coda where like the dog gets to eat him because the dog is
Oh, I'm
named
sure. Look,
Dragon, and I just
they're
feel
going to give him some of him.
yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
No on his
Listen,
bones.
like we said, there is no definitive version of this folklore
Yeah.
or this folk tale. So we're going to say that
We
the
can
dog does
iterate.
eat him.
We can, we're
Yes.
still telling the story. We get to
We're still
embroider
telling
it
it.
going forward.
It's like, here, go at it, Dragon. Have at it.
You know what? And it's funny because I couldn't find a postscript on what happened to Dragon because the story basically just ends there. But let's just go with that. Dragon gets to eat him
Yeah.
He gets
and
to eat him.
consume him and shit him out along with like, the one ring to rule them all.
Turns out dogs can pass it without being
Yeah,
turned invisible.
Dogs are incorruptible in
They
that sense.
are.
They're loyal as shit.
Then when Dragon dies and he goes to heaven, he asks, "Was I a good boy?" And then he's told he's the goodest. And
absolutely the goodest
he
boy.
reunites with Aubrey. And I don't know. I'm just imagining this like a cartoon that I've seen. So
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
yeah,
The goodest. Yeah, he is probably the top dog.
yeah.
Top dog.
Top
Anyway,
dog.
that's my tab. That was the story. I just thought it was
That's
really
awesome.
funny that he like basically had to go to court.
The
He decided to kill this guy.
that was fucking incredible, and I love it so much. And I do
Thank you.
think, unfortunately, it will diminish my experience of John Wick. When I eventually watch it, I'll be
It
like,
might. John Wick doesn't even get to eat this dude.
it'll just be like, I just feel we've had so many films about men going on tears of vengeance for their, variously fridged loved ones. When will dogs have their day? When will a dog
revenge story
get to actually go? And
I want like a Marley and Me style movie, but with revenge.
This is the one. This is the one, you guys. Hollywood, if you're listening, which I know you are because you're basically feeding all of our podcasts into your AI and then using it to steal money from us and then never actually give us credit. But yeah. Anyway, so how do we want to close these tabs? Do you have any
time to close them.
Sound effects? I was thinking a dog killing something would be a fun one.
Ripping something apart.
A murderer's throat in half.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We could just do like a
and a bunch of blood splattering everywhere as the murderer of his owner dies.
All right.
I always
Alyssa.
associated closing tabs with tidiness, but if you're going to actually associate it with viscera
we like to kill
and
the tabs
gore,
in some way.
Kill the tab.
Kill the tab.
Yeah.
I guess we don't have to be violent, but we always have been.
But we should
I was going to say atomic bomb could be another one. But
right. That's another one. Ooh, that's tough. What's a funner sound? We've probably already done an animal with like blood curdling before. I don't think we've done it ever nuke. I don't think we've ever done a nuke.
Well, I don't think there's I don't know.
There's
what
also, we could
sound
do
like.
a grenade just exploding.
Oh, grenade because of the pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
Okay. All right.
We're going to
Melissa,
grenade
something.
this.
All right.
All right.
What are we doing?
We're going to count it down. You ready? 3, 2, 1. And they're gone. And
I have to close a bunch that
awesome sound effects.
feels good. Closing a bunch of stuff I opened because of you, Amal.
God, there's like some guy who's like, I've come to debase the coinage. I forget who says that, but I have come to proliferate the tabs. The tabs that should be closed.
I'm not complaining. I like it.
Excellent.
So we're going to move on to listener mail now. And today we have one, since it's a guest episode, and we have a voice memo from Amy from Atlanta, Georgia.
Ooh.
Hi, Hannah and Kaveh. This is Amy reporting from the Big Bog of Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for inspiring me to finally tackle some of my outstanding tabs again, one of which is the 1916 Cumberland versus Georgia Tech football game. John Boyce has a great YouTube video on what he calls the worst beatdown between grown adults in the history of American sports. It all started when Cumberland College hired a bunch of pro baseball players disguised as students to play against Georgia Tech's baseball team in order to raise money for them to make a new football team. Georgia Tech's baseball and football coach, John Heisman, for whom the John Heisman Trophy is named, was not going to stand for his student team to be humiliated by a bunch of ringers. He challenged Cumberland to play their scheduled football game or incur a hefty forfeit fine, even though Cumberland no longer had a functioning football team and had to cobble together one from random law students. Conversely, Tech's team at the time was one of the best in the school's history, enjoying a 33-game, 4-year winning streak.
Whoa.
Events of this game include Cumberland's quarterback getting knocked out, dragged off the field, then put back in the game 3 times, a kicker catching his own kick to score a touchdown, a player tripping over another player who was trying to find his glasses in the grass, players dropping to the ground to play dead, players running away and hiding to avoid playing the rest of the game, a dog from the stands chasing another player around the field, and players forming a human ramp for another player to launch himself into a play that destroyed his face. At the half, Cumberland's coach asked to forfeit the game, but Heisman refused. He answered his team's 22-0 baseball thrashing with a 222-0 football evisceration. I'm recording this as my alma mater gets ready to play and likely lose to our in-state rival, the University of Georgia, so I figured it was a good time to finally catch up on this lore. Thanks again for all you do. Keep it Josie, and I'll see you at the Dickie Nixie Pepsi-sponsored presidential funeral procession on ice. P.S. I also recommend looking into John Boyce's video about the history of slipping on banana peels on the YouTube channel Secret Base.
I forgot about the on ice joke that we made at one point.
I did too. What was it about? On ice?
I don't know. Who knows?
Wow. We're victims of our own chaos.
Idiot.
Our own idiocy. That was beautiful. That
was
was
lovely.
I want to watch this game.
And so well narrated, I have to say.
I know.
That was so soothing to listen to.
I bet you got asked a lot to read in class, huh, Amy? I bet there was a lot of that.
I thought you were going to be like, her name's not Amy, it's Amal, but you were talking to the person who wrote in. But I guess she could go by Amy if she wanted to have
I anglicized her name to Amy.
I deeply wanted to be called on to read things more than I was. I loved reading things out loud.
Me too.
But I was also like, aware that I couldn't keep asking to do that because it
Right.
seemed obnoxious, but I love doing it.
I always liked it too.
If you too have an email you'd like to read to us, preferably on a voice memo, go ahead and send it to 500opentabs@gmail.com. That's 500. And I guess that about brings us to the end. Amal, thank you so much for coming and sharing your tab with us, taking the time to do the research. What would you like to tell our audience about what you're doing, where they can find you, anything coming up, anything
Sure.
that they should purchase or follow you, anything like that?
Oh, thank you. I have a book that came out this year called The River Has Roots, and it is, in fact, a retelling of a ballad. So we talked a little bit about ballads and folklore and stuff. Also, I did a lot of mill research for it that is just infinitesimally tiny portion of the actual book. Book's also very short, I will say the audiobook of it, though, if you are interested in, if you like audio things, I don't know,
Which
off
they might.
off chance that someone listening to this might. The audiobook is narrated by Jem Carmela, who is magnificent and who I feel like I made up inside my head.
Awesome.
But also the book's about sisters and about sisters who sing together, and my sister and I sing together and play music together, and we did that for the audiobook. So I play the harp, she plays
that's so
the
cool.
flute. And we do both sing
Really?
together. Yeah, there's also like a kind of secret history of Palestinian folk song that is
Nice.
actually there's an important song in the book, and it is for me a actual Palestinian folk song, even though it's a fantasy novel. It's set in England in the 17th-ish century. That is fantasy. But my sister and I sing that together. It's called Tarwidi Shmeli, and it's part of it. And I just think the audiobook's really cool and very worth listening to if you like an audiobook. The physical book has illustrations in it by Kathleen Neely, who is magnificent, incredible printmaker and just like lino cut working artist.
Look at that.
Yeah, right? I know. It's just
That's beautiful.
so
Yeah.
I could actually, I can have the book right here because I want to show literally you guys. But look at this. It's so
Gorgeous.
Wow.
pretty.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And anyway, there's loads of lovely stuff in there. But next year, I have my short story collection coming out that's called
Oh.
Seasons of Glass and Iron, named after one of the stories in the collection. And it comes out in March 24th, I think, at which point I'm going to be on the Joko cruise. So I will be unavailable to the public for when my book actually drops. But then I will have some tour stops that I'm going to do on the West Coast. And
Nice.
so I'm going to be in Portland and in Salt Lake City and Spokane, I think. After
All right.
that. So, yeah. Anyway, mostly
Awesome.
those things.
And where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on the internet. I have a newsletter that you can sign up for at amalelmohtar.com. And I am on Blue Sky and Instagram for my sins. And on Blue Sky, my name's amalelmohtar.com, and it's Amal El-Mohtar on Instagram. And, I don't post on Twitter anymore, but I have my account still there because I met my husband there. It's really hard to
Aw.
actually,
You met him on Twitter?
I
love
met him
that.
on Twitter through a mutual friend in 2010, 10 days after I went to the plague market. So,
Right,
yeah.
right,
The
right.
plague market blew your mind with the pomegranate line.
Exactly.
Love this lore.
So yeah, but thank you so much
Wonderful.
for having me, guys.
Thank
I
you.
love the podcast so much. It's such a pleasure, despite the initial stress that it launched in me when you conceived of it as a project. I seriously love it. It's is such a delight, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Anytime. You're always
It was-
welcome back. If
Yes.
you'd like to do another report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that.
If you'd like to make an essay for us. This is we always joke this is the only podcast that requires you to do homework.
Yeah.
We didn't
But
think
fun
about that.
homework, hopefully.
Fun homework.
Yeah.
It's like
Of your
you're
choosing.
inviting someone to share their special interest is actually
That's
Exactly.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know what people get reading about at 2 a.m. in bed. Like,
Hell
that's the kind of
yes.
thing.
Hell
But yes, thank you for coming on. This was delightful. And everyone, please go follow Amal because there's books to be had. There's beautiful poetry and books. And and what did you say? The short stories you said? are coming out?
Short stories
Cool.
next year. I'm
Keep your
excited
eye
about
on
it,
that.
Yeah, because in part it's like a best of situation. Like they're
nice.
all things that have been published before, but across a bunch of anthologies and magazines and
nice.
things. So to have them all in one place is quite cool to me.
I know that a
Cool.
bunch of people who are in our Discord speak of you often, so they'll be very
Aw,
excited to know
that's
that's
so
coming
nice.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Hello to
You,
Discord friends. Oh, I did meet some of them. in
Yes.
San Diego. That's right.
You met
That's
Jazz, I
right.
remember
When you
specifically,
came
was
to-
very excited.
Yes.
It was funny. After that, she was like, Jazz was like, you should have her on the show. And I was like,
well,
we're already.
Fun fact. She was
fun-
supposed to be on the show literally that
It's true.
next
The
weekend,
next
but
week,
schedules didn't
yeah.
work out. So
exactly.
I'm glad that it
It's been
finally
so
got to
much
happen.
trouble.
Oh,
Me
yeah.
too. And
Book
in my
tour.
birthday month. It's my,
Oh,
gonna be my
happy-
birthday in
When's
11
your
days.
birthday?
St. Lucia's Day.
So the
it's
20.
the 13th of
Yep, never
December.
mind.
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking of the 13th of December, I will be in San
Oh.
Diego.
hey.
What?
Yeah, happy. I will be in for your birthday. I'm going to be at Tito Rick's garage doing that holiday market with Patrick Ballesteros. It's also
Amazing.
a gallery show. It's going to be there from 11 to 4 p.m. I will post about it on my social media, but I think it's the time of the release. This is coming, I think, on the 10th. So it'll be this Saturday that's coming out.
This is such a thoughtful gift. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate
did it for you.
that. You know,
I did it just for you. There's also a gallery show where I included that we have illustrations. The theme was automobiles. But
yes.
it's 11 to 4 at Tito Rick's garage. I'll be there. I'll be tabling as well. So I'll have some books, prints, some fun holiday stuff. Follow my Instagram at PermaFriends for updates. Hope to see you guys there. Anyone who's in the San Diego area.
You should tell me when your birthday is so I can do something cool in another country while you're having it.
Oh yeah. Mine's in June. Hannah's is more, it's coming up.
January 20th.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my sister's birthday.
Nice.
Oh.
Does she hate it because it's the inauguration? Oh, no, you're not American.
No.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly. But it is, there's sometimes it's a happy day.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not.
A lot of times it's not.
Yes.
Everyone's like sad and you're like, can we just have a party? And everyone's like, we just watched a fascist take control. I'm like,
Yeah.
great.
But on the plus
Um,
side, Hannah, this means that you are literally like a sister to me
my-
already. You
Oh
and
my
my
God.
sister
Yeah,
have
we've
in
already like
common.
again linked in our minds.
Yes.
And let me be the first and probably only person to tell you on the 13th, pen blwydd hapus i ti, okay? No one's
No one else would have said it
I
to
never
me.
get to say anything in Welsh, but anyway.
you.
Yeah, his birthday's June 3rd, for everyone who's wondering.
Oh, you remembered.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes, I do. That was mostly
So-
because I wanted to show off that I remembered your birthday.
Making a note.
Hannah, you want to tell them where to
Oh,
find
yeah. You can find me at Hannah Hillam on most things, and I got nothing coming up. And
Love
on
it.
that note, I'll see both of you at the the Gwen Stefani tribute toilet where I'm gonna where Frodo shat out the ring of power.
Beautiful.
Don't you dare just say same, Kaveh. Do not.
Don't even think about it, Amal. I think that's it. There's nothing else to say. Thank you
No.
again, Amal. Thank you guys for listening. Join us next week. We'll be back for our season finale, which is Kuma Tab 4. Baby,
Hell yes.
get
All
ready.
right.
Yep. It's where we battle everybody.
Yeah.
All of our tabs.
Naturally.
Anyway,
Obviously.
thanks, guys. Thank you, Amal.
Bye.
Bye.